the last band maybe on the planet where you are so excited as what the cover is going to be. What iteration of Eddie are we going to see? Now, we can kind of delve into this. At first, we were hearing about Belshazzar's Feast, which is such a great Maiden-esque thing. And I thought for sure, okay, the album's going to be called Belshazzar's Feast, and the single's Writing on the Wall, because they had all the little clues online. They really worked it well. And then, of course, then they released this giant press release of it's not Belshazzar's Feast, it's Senjutsu, which is what the does that mean? And, of course, it's this imperial, ancient Japanese samurai Eddie. What did you guys think when you first saw that image? What did you think, Brian?
I love it. I mean, it's my second favorite Eddie next to Killer's Eddie.
Also my favorite Eddie, by the way, Killer's Eddie, the best Eddie.
Yeah.
That's the best Eddie ever. But the second era of stuff since Derek left, all the covers are good, but some are definitely better than others. But this is one where I think they really, Eddie just looks amazing. And as a samurai, just perfect. Like all those images are great. And like I said, when I saw the cover, I'm like, oh, this album better be really good because the cover is phenomenal. And it is.
Merlin?
I loved it. I mean, I think they have dug into the kind of ancient Japanese iconography before. I've seen certain like tour t-shirts and stuff that have kind of done this thing, but in terms of like a main run Eddie, as soon as I saw it, it's almost like, I can't believe they've not done this before, because it lends itself so well to everything. Like you can imagine how the stage show is going to look. Like it's just, he's swinging a samurai sword around. How has this not happened before?
My favorite Eddie is the Power Slave Eddie, which I have tattooed there.
Nice.
I loved, once again, I was so surprised because they did this before. I think it was before Dance of Death. The rumor was that the record was going to be called The Majesty of Gaia, which is something about Earth, like Mother Earth or something. And then it ended up being either Brave New World or Dance of Death, to where they kind of took us like on a wild goose chase. And so when I was expecting Belshazzar's Feast and then it came out with Senjutsu, now I've been to Japan, 60 odd times. I've never heard this word before, but seeing that Eddie, it was like, okay, I love the fact. And Nico told me, he was on Talk as Jericho, said people were complaining that, they got another black background like Book of Souls. But it's cool because it really focuses in on this, Samurai Eddie, which is just so well done. And if you buy the actual record, when you open it up, the vinyl, there is a huge landscape of a Japanese, ancient city or town with the Senjutsu Eddie just killing everybody. And it's like, this is great. Like, once again, what the greatest marketing tool gimmick ever is Eddie and Iron Maiden. We never know what we're going to get.
Yeah, and in the vinyl, too, on each of the sleeves that hold the actual vinyl, there's other versions of Eddie as the samurai, which are all amazing.
It's just great.
Yeah, they did a great job with the packaging on this. Is probably might be my favorite overall package they've ever done. It's pretty incredible.
And once again, one of the last bands that does that, and people of all generations are excited about it. Now, like you said, what's the set going to be? And what's Nico's drums going to look like? And Bruce has already talked about how they found some lightsaber fencing foils. They actually have made lightsabers. He's talking about doing a lightsaber battle. And I'm like, it's funny because they're doing the Legacy of the Beast tour next year when they go back on the road. And I'm sure the only reason for that is that Smallwood spent so much money on the production. He's like, we're going to get our money's worth out of this one.
Well, and there's a lot of places that they never got to that ended up being canceled, never saw it. So that was my big question was, what are they going to do? They have a new record out, but they haven't finished touring on the Legacy of the Beast. But yeah, I guess they're going to go finish that up first and then obviously do this tour. And I hope they do what you talked about, Chris, is do the whole album. That would be amazing.
I have no doubt about it. I just know it in my heart. I know Iron Maiden. And like I said, they did it in 2006. It's been a while. And before we get into the actual tracks, keep in mind this record, much like Power Up AC/DC, had been in the can for 2 years. They had recorded it and kept it in the can for 2 years. And much like AC/DC, nobody knew about it. That's the thing I love about those bands. There's no social media. There's no nothing. Steve Harris had the only copy in his safe at his house. Nico was like, Steve goes, have you heard the album, Nick? He's like, no, I haven't heard the fucking album. You're the only one who has the album. How could I have heard it? So that's so classic Iron Maiden. And then one last thing that I'll tell you, I was talking to Brian about this. I'm not sure if you had this too, Merlin. They sent me an advance link to the album. What I did not know is it was like Mission Impossible. After 2 listens, it just disappeared.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
You had it too. And I talked to Todd, the American PR. I was like, Todd, it's a 85-minute album. You can't just listen to it twice and get anything out of it. You got to give me more listens, man. very espionage.
I was actually fortunate enough to go down to Maiden's HQ and hear some of the album ahead of time because we were doing a big cover feature for Metal Hammer. And I don't know if it was like the original copy, but they played it. This has never happened before. I've been to a lot of listening sessions. It's the first time it's ever happened. They played it to me on a blank white label vinyl. So it's like, it's just so Maiden. Like
it's classic, right?
I don't know if it was the only one they had or what was going on, but they just kind of pulled that. Their management team just pulled it out, and I was like, oh my god, this is serious.